My son Matthew just won silver place in this month's Liberty Cup 2 Round 2 Championships. So yes, Matthew won silver place using my car, Eagle. Yeah, this is not my fastest car, like I said before, but it seems to win a lot. So pretty cool, pretty cool. So all he did was he had to just make sure that the battery charge was to his liking so that he can compete against the other cars. Yeah, pretty cool. So this is a pretty heavy car, as you all know. It's about 139 grams, stays on the track, it hugs it. It's got these 11 millimeter ball bearings right here. So cool. 13 millimeter rollers on the bottom side. And look at this. Yes, it looks like it's shaven, but it's not. This is just wear and tear on the rollers, everybody. Yeah, this is what happens when you play your cars over and over and over again and get them battle ready. Pretty cool. So this whole thing is weighted down pretty well. It's got back weights, side weights. Yeah, it doesn't need any front weights, everybody, because this is an FMA chassis. Most of the weight is going to be on the front of the car. Pretty cool. Yeah. In other news, I attempted to try box stock using two new cars that I built not long ago, like this past week. I've got a Brocken Gigant, which everybody, I don't know if that's pronounced right, but I'm sorry if I didn't pronounce it right. Everybody tells me that this Brocken Gigant, they were telling me, yeah, this is actually better than the Mach frame. I'm like, how is it better than the Mach frame? It's heavier than the Mach frame. Oh, maybe it'll stand lane changer. Ooh, yes, this is an FMA chassis. If you get the older Brockens, they're going to use another type of chassis that you all are familiar with if you've been racing for a long, long time. This one here, this is Mako, my Shadow Shark, based on the AR chassis. So this one here is actually faster than my car Phoenix. Yeah, so what did I do? It was faster. I replaced the engine from Phoenix, put it in here, and now it's even faster than before. Pretty cool. Unfortunately, both of these cars coursed out in the last final moments of the races that I tried to win. And unfortunately, I got a lot of points this month, but I didn't get any wins, unfortunately. That's just the way the ball bounces sometimes. So yeah. And then for Tune Class, I entered Voltron and Ganesha. And unfortunately, while I got a lot of points in Tune Class with these cars, because these were really fast cars, I didn't get any wins again because these would course out at the very last possible moment. Oh, so frustrating. Yeah, this is such a fast car, everybody. Like this is like so much faster than Eagle, and yet Eagle can stay on the track and win. It's heavier, it's more stable. This is built for speed. This is 127 grams. It is so light compared to this 139 gram monster. This is just built to fly around the track, and fly it did. It just totally outclassed a lot of cars in terms of speed. But when it came to stability, it was totally outclassed by all the other cars. The other cars were just so much better in terms of stability than mine. And yeah, no matter how many tracks we race on with all the turns that we have, especially the hairpin turns, this thing ends up coursing out at the most inopportune times. It's just such a shame, such a shame. But I got a lot of points this month, yeah, to the tune of 60 points this month, which is pretty darn good. It was the leader of all of the scores this month, just in terms of points. So Liberty Cup 2. The medals that are going to be awarded at the very end are going to be based on who has the top 3 out of 5 rounds of scores. So top 3 scores out of the 5 rounds of scores. So yeah, it's going to be very, very challenging because right now, who's at the very top? I'm looking at the leaderboard now and it says Andre is number 1 at 98 points with our 2 rounds so far. I'm second with 95, and third place is Matthew, 76 points. But third place, it could be anybody's game right now, and you know what? It's really anybody's game in all 3 podium spots. So yeah, all somebody has to do is just come in and just totally blow everybody away in the rest of the 3 rounds and score higher than all of us, and yeah, they'll be able to overtake what we just did right there. Because I scored a mediocre score in my first round, and I just did well in the second round. That's why I'm in second place. But anybody can come in with some ultra awesome scores and in all 3 of the rounds that they compete in, and they could just blow us all away. So this is truly anybody's game at this point, anybody's win. So the winner of this Liberty Cup 2, that person is going to get an MS suspension chassis that already has all this stuff built in. The springs are already built in. All you have to do is lubricate the springs. So this is a professional MS flex chassis. I think it's a flex chassis. designed and created by a well-known racer on the East Coast. And yeah, he's been selling these things for a while now, and he's really good at racing. Every time he comes to Hobbytown, he totally blows away the competition. He's that good. And he designed this chassis, and this chassis is up for grabs. Now, if by chance I happen to be gold in this Liberty Cup 2, and I don't expect that because there's a lot of fierce competition this time around with more racers, with more competitive cars than ever before. If I happen to be gold, then I'm going to surrender my chassis to the silver medal winner. And if it so happens that myself and Matthew are in the top 2, or maybe Brandon, I don't know if that's possible even at this point because of scoring wise, but anything is possible. If one of us is the top 2, then, or both of us are in the top 2, then we'll surrender the MS suspension chassis to the 3rd place, the bronze medal winner. So somebody other than us is going to get this MS suspension chassis. Pretty cool. So yeah, it's anybody's game right now. This month, we gave away a mock frame as one of the prizes. Pretty darn cool. And that's a pretty rare kit these days because mock frames are sold out everywhere. So yeah, to compete for a mock frame and win it, oh my God, that was so cool. So let's see. Let's review who the winners were for this month. For box stock, we had Kipton as our gold place winner, followed by Andre as our silver winner, and William as our bronze winner in box stock. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Hard-fought victories all around. And then for Toon Class, we have Andre as being the gold place winner, my son Matthew as the silver place, and Neil as the bronze place winner. Neil makes some of the fastest cars that we've ever raced against. He had this one car fly around the track like crazy, and I was like, whoa, this is like faster than everybody's. It was like a blur, like we were trying to keep up with it. That's how fast it was. And in some cases that car like lapped other cars. That's how fast it was. And he told us that was his first ever Toon Class car that he built. And it's like, whoa, whatever you did it right. Like whatever you put into that car, whatever parts you added, it was just the right combination, the right skills used to get everything perfectly in order on that car, and it's just super, super fast. This is the only car that beat it in the time attack. The time attack is not a good indicator of speed, though. The time attack is basically if you are racing alone by yourself to try to get the highest, or in this case, the lowest time, that's what time attack is all about. Neil had the fastest car that was like racing with other cars. This is not necessarily the fastest car when racing with other cars because this car is very susceptible to vibrations. Once something bumps into this car from the next lane over, that's kind of it. It rattles it a little bit and it doesn't go as fast. Does that make sense? It doesn't seem to make sense, right? Because it's like, wait, how can a super fast car suddenly get slower just by having vibrations pitted against it? It just does. It just does. Think about it. Something is next to you in the next lane, bumping into the wall between your track and their track. Suddenly, this car that was riding along that wall has to ricochet off and hit the other wall. And then it's going to do this little kind of thing where it has to try to resolve itself to try to continue going straight. And it takes several fractions of seconds to try to come back into a steady pace. Whereas if this car were pretty much alone on its own track, going around and around by itself, there's nothing to kind of bother it except itself. So this car alone is probably one of the faster cars that are out there. I'm not gonna say in the world, but it's pretty darn fast. But against other cars that happen to knock into the wall that it's riding along, it's going to affect this car badly in some cases. And so this car ends up being slower than it should be because of the bad vibration control. So how can I improve the vibration control of this car? Maybe I don't want to. Maybe I want this to be a super speed demon, and so long as I'm ahead of everybody else, then I can maintain like a victory margin, so to speak, so that no other cars can possibly knock up against me. But if I don't have that strategy in place, if there's a car that accelerates faster than me and it happens to then hit the wall next to me before I get a chance to go in front of everybody, that's where the trouble begins with this car. So unfortunately, that's just how it is. That's how it was designed. It was designed to be light and fast. It's like, I can think about it as like a Shelby Cobra, where it's very light and any sort of bump or damage on it is just totally destroy it. But so long as you're ahead of everybody else, you're going to win. So here's Ganesha. Here's the opposite view of that. This is a heavier car. It's more robust because of the big body shell. It weighs a lot more, and I've got a lot more stuff on here that'll prevent it from getting into issues like Voltron. So here we have this, this AT bumper kind of thing, sort of, right? Doesn't have negative camber, it has positive camber only. It's got these 9mm wheel bearings, and they roll so smoothly. And yeah, it's designed to be a B-Max racer with a double front, so it's very reinforced. It's got the bottom plates here with nice skid brakes. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Unfortunately, the side weights leave a little bit to be desired. I wish that I was able to put heavier stuff on the side instead of these skinny weights, these column weights. But what can you do? That's just how it is. So yeah, this is fairly good, but it does course out every now and again. It is not as fast as other Razorbacks out there. Neil's got like a super fast Razorback. This is probably the second fastest of all the Razorbacks I've ever seen. So whatever Neil did outclasses this particular car, and that's pretty cool. Still, when you're talking about a classic design, you've got low profile wheels, low profile tires, you've got a classically heavy car that's very stable, a lot of metal hardware everywhere, everything is built for speed on this. This is the car that you can rely on pretty much to win a 3-lane race. The Liberty Cup 2 races this month, some of them were so close. Take a look at this video right here. That's how close some of these races were. There was like a car that would beat another car by like this much, and we had to review the video several times to see that, yes, that car actually beat this other car. It was so close, some of these races. We had to do a lot of reviewing of footage this time around because the cars were so fast. Everything was like a blur around the track in many of the races. It was like really, really challenging to try to be the race master for this race. Whoa, pretty cool. So yeah, everybody had fun at the races. There were 14 racers total, 18 cars in box stock, 19 in tune class. Lots of challenging competition. So if you like this video, everybody, please slam the like button, subscribe to my channel. You'll see more videos just like this one. Until next time, everybody, see you, bye.